Welcome back to the Changed Youth. I am your host Said Rafe and I am thrilled to have you with me as we continue our journey into the lessons and experiences that have shaped my career in tech. In our last episode, we explored the power of self-learning and how it set the foundation for my path from a high school coder to a corporate software engineer. Today, we are diving deeper into the story, focusing on how those early experiences and projects taught me invaluable lessons that led to what I like to call a bulletproof mindset. This is all about resilience, growth, and the ability to adapt in the face of challenges. It's something I developed early on, and I am excited to share how it all came together from my first job search in Karachi and Lahore to building a team and running my own web agency at the age of just 19 years old. So let's get into it. After I had built a decent foundation in web development during my high school years, I knew it was time to step into the professional world. I had learned HTML, PHP, MySQL, and JavaScript. But the real test was finding a job that would allow me to apply these skills in a real-world setting. So after graduating, I packed my bags and set off on a job hunt in two of Pakistan's major cities, Karachi and Lahore. I remember the excitement and the anxiety. I had no formal degree, just a portfolio of projects that I had worked on in my free time. I applied to numerous web agencies hoping that someone would just give me a chance. The job market was competitive, and I faced my fair share of rejections. But instead of letting those rejections discourage me, I used them as fuel. I learned from each interview what I could improve, how I could present myself better, and what skills were in demand. Finally, after weeks of searching, I landed an interview with a web agency in Karachi. They were looking for a WordPress developer, and although my portfolio wasn't extensive, I had an incomplete WordPress project that I had worked on just to learn the platform. I walked into that interview, showed them what I had done, and explained how I could contribute to their team. To my surprise, they offered me the job. This was my first break, a chance to prove myself in a professional setting. It wasn't the most glamorous job, but it was an opportunity to learn and grow. Little did I know, this would be the start of something much bigger. At my very first job, I was fortunate enough to have a manager who would change the trajectory of my career. She was an empathetic leader, someone who believed in nurturing talent rather than just getting the job done. This was my first experience working under someone who truly cared about my development, not just as a programmer, but as a professional. In that first year, my skills and confidence grew by leaps and bounds. I was learning new things every day, not just about WordPress, but about the broader ecosystem of web development. My manager encouraged me to take on challenging projects even when I wasn't sure I was ready. She had this incredible ability to see potential in people and push them just enough to help them realize it. As a result, my growth was exponential. I wasn't just getting better at programming, I was learning how to think critically, how to solve problems, and how to work effectively within a team. By the end of that year, my skills had improved by over 250% and my income reflected that growth. This was a pivotal time in my career, and it taught me the importance of having the right mentors and the impact of empathetic leadership. With my newfound confidence and skills, I started to take on more responsibilities at this web agency. One of the key moments in my journey was when I got the chance to work with a team of developers who were experts in PHP frameworks like Symfony and CodeIgniter. However, I was the only one on the team with a strong background in user experience and front-end development, which opened a unique opportunity for me. One of the projects we worked on was a survey application, and I saw this as the perfect chance to experiment with jQuery. At the time, jQuery was gaining popularity for making web development more interactive and dynamic, and I wanted to see how I could use it to enhance the user experience of our application. I spent hours diving into jQuery tutorials, trying out different techniques, and testing them on our project. It was a learning curve, but the results were worth it. The interactive features I implemented using jQuery not only improved the user experience, but also caught the attention of senior developers on the team. This experience was a big confidence booster for me. It showed me that I could bring something valuable to the table, even in a team of highly skilled developers. It also reinforced the idea that continuous learning and experimentation are key to staying relevant in the ever-evolving tech industry. Around this time, I also started freelancing on Odesk, which is now known as Upwork. My first project was small. I bid $15 and won the project, making my first 50 bucks as an award. It wasn't much, but it was a start. What I didn't realize at the time was that this small project would lead to something much bigger. That first client on Upwork was based in California, and after completing the initial project, he was so impressed with my work that he kept coming back with more projects. Soon I found myself with more work than I could handle alone. I had a choice to make: either turn down the work or scale up. I chose the latter. At just 19 years old, I hired my first team. I brought on 3 full-time developers, 2 SEOs, and a full-time designer. I even rented a small office in Karachi and essentially ran a web agency on behalf of my client from California. This was a huge leap for me. I went from being a freelancer to managing a team, handling multiple projects, and dealing with clients from halfway around the world. This experience gave me hands-on knowledge of what people and project management looks like in practice. I learned about the intricacies of product development, how to manage expectations, and how to keep a team motivated and productive. It was a crash course in entrepreneurship, and it taught me more than any book or course ever could. Over the next 2 years, I continued to run this web agency, working on a variety of projects across different industries. I got the opportunity to work with clients from the US, Canada, Europe, and Australia. Each project came with its own set of challenges, and I had to adapt quickly to different leadership and management styles, different ways of working, and different cultural expectations. One of the biggest lessons I learned during this time was the importance of starting from zero and building it up. No matter how small or insignificant something might seem at the beginning, with the right mindset and approach, it can grow into something extraordinary. This was the foundation of what I now call my bulletproof mindset. By 2016, I decided to mostly withdraw from online freelancing to focus on working with digital marketing agencies in Pakistan as a tech consultant. I had built up a wealth of experience, not just in coding, but in managing teams, handling clients, and running a business. This was the next phase of my journey. where I would take all the lessons I had learned and apply them in a new context. Looking back on those early years, I can see how each experience, each project, and each challenge contributed to building the mindset I have today. From my first job search in Karachi and Lahore to running a web agency at 19, each step was a lesson in resilience, growth, and adaptation. The empathy of my first manager taught me the importance of nurturing talent and the impact that a supportive leader can have on your career. My experiments with jQuery and PHP frameworks showed me the value of continuous learning and the power of bringing something unique to the table. And my experience running a web agency at such a young age gave me hands-on knowledge of people and project management, client relationships, and product development. All of these experiences combine to form a bulletproof mindset, a mindset that has helped me navigate the ups and downs of a tech career, and one that I continue to rely on as I move forward. It's a mindset that anyone can develop, regardless of where you are starting from. The key is to stay curious, stay resilient, and always be willing to learn and grow. Thank you for joining me on this episode of The Change Dude. I hope my story has inspired you to reflect on your own journey and the lessons you have learned along the way. Remember, every experience, no matter how small, can contribute to your growth if you approach it with the right mindset. In our next episode, we will be talking about building a global tech career and the key steps to breaking into international markets. This is where we will dive into how to take your skills and experience and apply them on a global scale. You don't want to miss it. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep embracing the change. This is Said Rafe signing off.